He's back. King Ryan Garcia, the perennial face of 135 in terms of notoriety. He is the biggest name in terms of IG followers, in terms of casual fan knowing who he is at 135. I'm not going to sit here and say he's the biggest star in boxing or anything of that nature. But at 135, yes, you have Lomachenko. Yes, you have Teofimo Lopez. Yes, you have George Kambosos, Tank Davis, Devin Haney, etc. However, Ryan Garcia, in terms of today's standards, might be the most known name by the casual fan in boxing. However, the last few months, he has been MIA. We haven't seen him since he was in the ring with Luke Campbell. However, evidently he was going through some mental health issues, which I totally understand. And at first, I just thought he didn't want to fight certain people, or it was just bad luck, or he just needed a break because the kid has been fighting since he's 7 years old. And being in that limelight, it's a lot of pressure. You have everyone opining on your life choices, everyone opining on every single fight you make, every single mistake you make gets basically put under a microscope times 100. And if you talk about Ryan Garcia, you're talking about someone that has over 10 million followers and grew up in an age where not many people know how to deal with social media. Even Floyd Mayweather, to a certain degree, came in at the end or the beginning, the very tip of the iceberg for this social media platform. So even him, he didn't really have to deal with this type of every day. Someone always has an opinion. Someone always writes something, always has something negative to say or positive to say. So Ryan Garcia, I think it just finally got to him. I think he just needed some time off and leave him be, just to be left alone and left be. I do like what I'm hearing from Ryan Garcia after a few weeks. Well, not a few weeks. It's been a couple months, but in the last few weeks, rather. Sorry, I'm still COVID brain, honestly. But after George Kambosos fought Teofimo Lopez, we finally heard from Ryan Garcia. He said he wanted to fight George Kambosos, and I mean, get online, buddy. I mean, everybody wants to fight this guy, right? Lomachenko, you got Teo wanting a rematch. You have Gervonta Tank Davis with the rematch. I mean, he wants a crack at it. You got Devin Haney, who thinks he's the WBC real world champion, but we know George Kambosos is undisputed champion. You guys can spin and say whatever you want, but only DAZN says he's not. And other than Eddie Hearn and the people resonating and constantly repeating that, everyone knows who has all the belts in the division. And 4 belts, George Kambosos. So he wants a shot at George Kambosos. Now, Ryan Garcia, I personally think Ryan would beat George Kambosos, right? Power, left hook, taller, beautiful right hand, and can box his ass off. A lot of people don't realize Ryan Garcia has really good boxing skills. And I think for a fight of that magnitude, and I think for a fight where Ryan Garcia is coming back to prove something. I mean, everyone said he's a shitty boxer. Oh, he sucks. He's overrated. He's just an IG boxer. He's all this, he's all that. This kid's been boxing since 7 years old. And you're seeing a progression of Ryan Garcia fight by fight. In that Luke Campbell fight, I picked Luke Campbell to beat him. And I thought when Luke Campbell dropped him, the punk and the little baby and Ryan Garcia would come out. But no, Ryan Garcia got his ass up like a man, pulled himself up by the bootstraps, and came back and showed the world like, nah, I'm not a fraud. I've been doing this shit my whole life. I can do this, and I'm a champion. I'm going to be a champion. And like a future champion does, or like he has the heart of a champion, he knocked and stopped Luke Campbell out. And say what you want, Ryan Garcia is the real deal. They say that if Tank would have hit him or if Teo would have hit him, yeah, maybe. But you got to hit the kid before that happens, and you got to get in the ring with the kid because that speed he has is different. His left hook is tremendous, and it causes a nightmare matchup for everyone. And what I like from Ryan Garcia in a recent interview, he says he'll beat Devin Haney. He wasn't impressed by the JoJo performance, and he said, if I hit Devin Haney the way JoJo hit him. Devin Haney's going to sleep. He thinks Devin Haney isn't that good. They fought several times, and say what you want, they're split 50-50 in the amateurs. That's a fight that I would love to see, but I want to see Ryan Garcia fight everybody. I want to see all these guys at 135 fight everybody, because at the end of the day, it's nauseating to constantly talk about this division and not everyone's fighting. We're finally getting a little bit of it because everybody wants the undisputed crown now, ever since T.O. gave it up, unfortunately, to Kambosos. But Ryan Garcia also opined on the Cruz and Tank Davis fight. He felt Cruz got robbed. I don't think he got robbed, but if you thought Cruz won by a round or you had a draw, I wouldn't be that upset at you, because it was that close of a fight. I think people are kind of taking it the wrong way and thinking that Cruz was some scrub. But I told you guys that Cruz was a very good fighter. I told you it was going to be a better fight than the Rolly Romero fight in terms of actual boxing skills and game plan. Cruz is tough, and I think Cruz gives anybody issues. I think Cruz would beat George Kambosos. I think Cruz would give Devin Haney a hard fight. I think Cruz would give Tio a hard fight. I think he would give Ryan Garcia a hard fight. But after the Cruz fight, Ryan Garcia said he would fight Tank. He would fight Cruz, Pitbull Cruz. And I think that's a great fight. I think, one, it sets Ryan Garcia back up. You fight Isaac Pitbull Cruz. He gets a payday, right? He's well deserving of a payday after that performance he did with Gervonta Tank Davis. I hope that pay-per-view did well, because I want Cruz to actually be able to take care of his family. If you make a good $800K after pay-per-view and everything, that's life-changing, especially in Mexico, coming from the background he does. And he's a family man and truthfully seems like a nice, genuine, good guy, quiet, humble, etc. But I think Cruz and Ryan Garcia would be good. You get someone who is of Mexican descent fighting someone of Mexican descent as well, even though he's Mexican American. You get two Mexicans in the ring. It's box office. You got Cruz, who actually people think is going to be able to beat Ryan Garcia, especially coming off a long layoff, right, where he got dropped by Luke Campbell, who isn't known for hitting the hardest. But Cruz is going to bring the fight to Garcia. It immediately catapults Ryan Garcia back into the conversation. And then if you look at the angle of you want Tank versus Ryan, that's the fight that seemed to be the talk track for the next fight for Ryan Garcia and Tank, where two stars collide and it becomes a mega pay-per-view. Mayweather knows that a Ryan and Tank fight is box office. They would do tremendous pay-per-view buys because Ryan is a household, mainstream, bona fide star, right? He's going to sell pay-per-views. He's going to move casual fans to see if he can beat Tank. And a lot of people will pick Ryan to beat Tank. In fact, if Ryan were to beat a Pitbull Cruz, I would favor Ryan over Tank because of the height, one. Two, that left hook is a killer against lefties. And Ryan is a tremendous amateur. He's been in there with really good guys. And I like the way Canelo and the Canelo team and Alvarez comes up with strategies to attack lefties. He does well against them. And more, I think that left hook is going to be the difference. Tank is going to have to close the gap. And with Ryan's hand speed, say what you want, I think he could catch Tank in between. But I'm not going to sit here and say it's going to be an easy fight. Tank may knock Ryan the fuck out. So, but if I was a trainer, I would prefer someone who has a tremendous reach, hand speed, and height advantage. But Tank does possess the power over Ryan in terms of thudding, one-punch power. But if you have Isaac Cruz as a basic common opponent, if Ryan were somehow to get Cruz out, then you have a fight that makes a lot of sense. So I do like the fact that Ryan Garcia seems to be pissed off. He feels like there's a chip on his shoulder. He feels like people are doubting him. People feel like he's soft, and he's going to go out there to prove something. And for a young, strong, up-and-coming champ, nothing is better than a chip on his shoulder. It's going to force him to work hard, force him to be like, man, fuck what everybody says. I'm going to go out there and show the whole world that I'm the best. Whether it's true or not, I don't know, but I can't wait for Ryan to come back. It only makes a strong division stronger. And again, this division is the best in the world, in my opinion, and it's going to continue. I know 147 is right there, but right now, it seems like the best are going to fight the best in this division now. So I'll take it. I'm tired of 147 where we don't know who's going to fight who. People are hurt. There's a bunch of different things going on. And 135, it seems like it's going to get popping, and next year is going to be fantastic. So let me know what you guys think. Are you happy that Ryan Garcia is back? Who would you favor Ryan Garcia against? And honestly, who do you think beats Ryan Garcia? Who does Ryan beat? Because truthfully, Ryan Garcia is a nightmare matchup for anybody. And I know people hate his social media stardom. People hate the fact that, casuals like him and they feel like they always put Ryan Garcia against everybody. But Ryan Garcia is a good talent. And if he gets his mind right, gets it together, he can do extremely well against anybody on any day. So let me know what you guys think.